Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of Flashback 64. A little thing that we are calling Wiinter.
We would like to play.
I'm
Sounds
Gooey.
really good.
It sounds really appealing and something a lot of people are going to want to check out. But what is it? Well, we'll tell you. I'm Gooey, and I'm here, as always, with my co-host McKenna.
Hello.
And it's Wiinter outside.
Literally. It's snowed today.
The day, first
snow of the year season.
I feel like we might have conjured it. So.
Yeah.
So this is we're going on we'll tell everybody what's going on. Over the course of these Wiinter months, we're going to be doing a little mini series where we talk about games for the Nintendo Wii. Because we
every time we say we
thought it would be fun. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer. It's kind of more of a nostalgic console. Obviously, I mean, I had it, but for you, it's kind of a big nostalgic console. So we just thought, why we got a Wii set up. Let's play some Wii.
Yeah. And
for our inaugural episode, we've got some great guests here today. We are joined by Michael. Hey, Michael.
Hello.
Great to have you back. And we are also joined by Matt. Hey.
Howdy. It only rained here.
Yeah,
really?
The past couple of weeks or few weeks, it's been flip-flopping between hot and cold, and it's finally in the cold season, but no.
I'm ready to start Wiinter.
Just rain, no snow. A little bit of winter would be nice.
Yeah, I think McKenna's already embraced it. You had a nice beverage.
Yeah,
today.
I had a super cozy day. I made some hot chocolate. I made some cookie butter, whipped cream to go on top of it.
Yeah.
I learned some good hot chocolate or recipes from you.
Cool.
Yeah, McKenna makes some good hot chocolate. We're going to be talking about the Wii, and we're going to get into everyone's Wii backstory in this episode. It's going to be part Wii, just general Wii discussion, but also some of the launch. And I thought, in classic Flashback 64 fashion of our podcast, we're going to go back to when the Wii released in North America, which was November 19th, 2006. The number one song at the time was My Love by Justin Timberlake. And I believe T.I. was on that song as well. Produced by Timbaland. Gotta give everyone credit. Yeah. Number one movie, Happy Feet, by the god George Miller.
I think I saw that in theaters.
You did?
Perfect. I think so.
Wow, yeah, perfect Wiinter movie. They must have known.
I can only think of that line in that movie. The "Don't push me" because I'm close to the little penguin that sings the little rap.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I've never seen Happy Feet, actually.
McKenna knows what I'm talking about, so we're good.
Don't push me, cause I am close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
Yes, I like that one. I could really get jiggy with that.
Video games. Okay, so this was 2 days ago. November 17th, the PlayStation 3 was released. So, more importantly, the same day as the release of the Nintendo Wii, Burger King released 3 advertisement games that you could buy at Burger King, which included Pocket Bike Racer,
Classic.
Big Bumpin',
Big Bumpin'.
I
like the name of that one.
And of course, the big one that we all know and remember and love is Sneak King.
Oh yeah.
Really? That old?
Yeah. Feel old yet? Sneak King is
crazy.
Sneak King, $3.99, only at Burger King.
as we said, the Wii, released November 19th, 2006, and it's Nintendo's fifth major home game console. We're not counting no color TV game here. It was the follow-up to the GameCube, and it is part of the 7th generation of game consoles with the aforementioned PS3 and the Xbox 360. It was developed under the codename Revolution by Shigeru Miyamoto and Genyo Takeda. And of course, it's known for motion controls and pretty wacky stuff. I wanted to mention the other launch titles for the console, because there was actually a handful. It had Avatar: The Last Airbender, Barnyard, Call of Duty 3, Excite Truck, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Rayman Raving Rabbids, Red Steel, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, Trauma Center Second Opinion, and what is that? And then I don't know if you know this game, but The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess was
Never
also,
heard of
yeah, some shit.
Wasn't that a GameCube game?
To me, it was, yeah.
Yeah. I've actually played that Barnyard game.
Oh yeah, how was it?
To me, a child, I would probably say good, but nostalgia and time changes.
Did you play the Avatar game?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if I don't think I had watched. I didn't watch Avatar until after the show had like ended.
Oh, okay, so you weren't fully on board. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to play Excite Truck. That does look sweet.
The Barnyard game was one of those games where it's like there's a big open world and then you go around and play a bunch of mini games.
There was a lot of that on the console.
Yeah.
So many.
There are so many
games
on the Wii.
Yeah.
So many fitness games. I remember I was looking at the library on Wikipedia, and there's like multiple Julian Michaels fitness games.
Yeah. I mean that
He was made for it.
It was, and that sort of stuff. I mean, even this is less fitness, but like stuff like the dance games, the Just Dance and stuff like those.
Yeah.
I never really played much of those, but like they would still release those, like up until like a few years ago, I think too.
They're playing those in their retirement homes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were still releasing it.
This way, I think
right now
they should just they do the Switch 2 or whatever, but they should also just bring back the Wii. Like, don't really update it. Really, just sell it.
just re-release it.
Yeah, just bring it back. Maybe make some new games or whatever, but yeah, keep it. Maybe in HD. I don't know.
They could just like add the Wiimote as a Switch 2 control option.
Yeah, true.
Like make a new Wiimote.
Yeah, bring the Wiimote back. I think they
could release something called the Wii U.
Oh, okay, and it could kind of be
a
like
beautiful console. A beautiful console.
A combination of the Switch and the Wii.
Fantastic console.
Okay, well, it's not Wii Wiinter, so.
Okay.
Maddie, let's start with you, because I already know Michael's. What's your backstory with the Wii?
I was very, very excited to get a Wii. I called GameStop every day on my walk home from school to see if they had one. And then one day they did. And it was the same day that parent-teacher conferences were happening.
Uh-oh.
So we went and we bought a Wii.
Oh,
and then my parents went to go talk to my teachers. And then I lost my Wii privileges pretty quickly.
Oh, no.
Were you a bad kid? Bad kid? What was going on?
I don't do homework.
Oh, still.
But the Wii was great. I loved the Wii.
Well, the Wii might have contributed to that, I think. Oh, I like the you called them every day, you said? I like that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
dedication.
Yeah, me and my friends, I lived like a mile from school, so there was no bus to my place. So me and my friends were just like walk on the sidewalk home, and I had like like a flip phone that was just like calling GameStop, like, do you have it today? Is it now? Is it yet?
Please.
Please.
Aw.
Please, I want to play Wii Sports.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we'll be getting to that game. But McKenna, how about you? What was your do you remember the pre-Wii? Were you hyped up for the Wii?
So I remember my neighbors got it first, and they invited us over to play. We played some Wii Sports over there, and we got really excited about it. And then I think, I don't know if we got it the year it released, because I know the Wii was like hard to get. People were like going and lining up at before dawn to try and get one. So I don't remember if we got it that year, but we definitely got it for Christmas. It might have been 2007. I think it must have been 2007, because I think it was summer when my neighbors invited us over.
Okay, yeah.
So it was a little bit after it released. I knew we were getting it for Christmas because my dad had been like going early to try and getting up early. Yeah, we got the Wii. We got Wii Sports. It was the family console.
Okay, so I like this anticipation. Like everybody here had to like look out for getting a Wii.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, everybody had it. It was like the console that all of my friends had. Go over to someone's house and they just had a Wii.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it broke through obviously to the wider market of people.
It was the only. The rest of my family did play some Nintendo 64, I think, and I think my brother and sister played a little bit of the PS2. But the Wii was the one console that my whole family like played pretty regularly.
Well, speaking of family, I thought it'd be a great way to kick off discussing the Wii by having my brother on, having Michael on. You know, like I said, I already know, but what's your history with the Wii?
Well, yeah, we were big Nintendo guys when we were kids. So aside from the SNES, it was always like new Nintendo console coming out. We got to have it. McKenna's right that the Wii was a real family console. It's the first console I remember that our family we would play a lot with them. Different games. Wii Sports, definitely a big one that we played with them. I remember playing a lot of Mario Party 8 on the Wii with the family.
One of the best
To me, Wii was just the family console.
Yeah, I mean, McKenna, you've even seen this. Like, they still were rocking the Wii. Only just recently, I convinced them to get a Switch, because I was like, hey, there's a lot of games like of a similar vibe to this on the Switch, and plus I think they at this point had like bought 3 Wiis because they kept like bricking, and they're like, all right, we'll just get another Wii, which, you know, nothing wrong with that. And we were actually visiting whatever not too long ago, and it was like hooked up to their newer TV, but it wasn't like the right orientation. I don't know if you remember this, and I couldn't like get it to be the right. I was just like, whatever. They're in Wii world here, but I eventually decided maybe I don't know why. I have no skin in the game, but I was like, maybe you should get a Switch. You know, could be fun.
I want to go to Wii world.
Wii for me was also during a time when like renting games from Blockbuster was the big thing going on. So I've gotten to play a lot of Wii titles that I typically wouldn't get because of it. One of the big ones I remember being like Boom Blocks.
Boom Blocks, yeah. Was that That was the one. Was that the one produced by Steven Spielberg, where you like chuck blocks at?
You chuck blocks at creatures forming like towers and stuff, and they're just supposed to explode and break.
We'll have to do an episode on that sometime, I think. Do you remember? So, Michael, do you remember getting it? Because I remember a similar thing to McKenna, where I had a coworker, I think, who had it, and so I remember going over and he showed me that, and we played, Wii Sports and whatnot, and it was like, whoa, this is crazy. These, the motion controls kind of blew me away. Mm-hmm. But I think that was, I don't remember when you actually got one, Michael, if it was like that winter or if it was the next.
I'm
holiday.
Sure. I'm not 100% sure. Mm-hmm. All I can say is that I know I got it some Christmas, mm-hmm. some winter Christmas, because every time a new Nintendo console was coming out, it's like that was at the top of my Christmas list.
Yeah, and I might have said this before, but this was, so when it came out 2006, I was 16, and I had been working for like a year, and between that and kind of like getting into like playing music and stuff, like I still played a ton of video games. But I also had a job, and I wasn't always with that, and the DS, which I didn't even get. I was not so much like getting games as often and consoles as often. So I remember this was a big deal because you got it, for Christmas, and like I remember me and my band, my friends were like fired up. We were like, hell yeah, Michael got a Wii, and we went out and bought shit for it like it was ours.
Yeah.
But we gave them to you. So to be fair, you know what I mean? We were.
I think I probably got a Wii because that was around the time, like the age where I was going really online on the internet, going on like message boards and mm-hmm. like YouTube streams when like YouTube channel streams used to be a thing. That's actually where I met Matt, is from like a bunch of old. Yeah, in the
Wii
nice.
era.
In the Wii era.
In the Wii world.
Yeah, is a bunch of those stuff. And I imagine, the communities I was in was talking about the Wii when it was coming out. And me being a kid in those online communities is like, well, I need a Wii too, then, if all my friends, all my online friends are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's no way you wouldn't want to get one, for sure.
I remember, because like I had like MSN Messenger or whatever, and before Skype really took off, I used like the We Speak channel as like
really
my big
cool.
Yeah. I had a couple of friends that I would hop on We Speak with because like Skype wasn't big yet.
Why didn't we record this podcast over
yeah.
How good of quality do you think it is?
Probably not very good.
I remember that thing, but I remember like Animal Crossing. They kind of were like kind of trying to think ahead with that, I feel like, because I feel like it wasn't until future Animal Crossing games where people were really like going online and chatting and like hanging out in each other's worlds and stuff. But they were thinking about it. Did you ever Wii Speak, McKenna?
No.
Wait, Maddie, how about you?
No, I don't think I had that.
Yeah, right.
I can say on the topic of Animal Crossing, booting up the Wii, I could tell from the pictures that Michael spent a lot of time on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, we were looking through the photo channel, and like 90% of it were just screenshots of like Animal Crossing City Folk and me playing with like a bunch of friends. And then there were like a couple of random there were like a couple of random people I didn't know in the photos that I don't remember,
Wow.
and I'm not sure
Yeah.
why they're there.
Strange men in your Wii photo.
But yeah, I think the reason why I used We Speak is because I got the microphone from Animal Crossing City Folk, and
Hell yeah.
when friends didn't have Animal Crossing or didn't want to hop on, it was like, oh well, let's hop in We Speak real chat, and,
that is we'll get into it with some of the channels. I definitely want to talk about that, but I think there's a lot of cool stuff on here that maybe didn't work, like it maybe didn't take off at the time, but a lot of those services I'm like, I wish they still had this. That would be sick.
Yeah,
including
absolutely.
ordering food, which apparently we didn't actually have in America.
Japan only, right?
Yeah, but no, so there's some actual stuff I genuinely was like, this is sick. I wish
Put it
this
on
would
the
come
Switch
back.
too.
Yeah.
I'll never need to look away from it.
So yeah, I went a little bit from like, little brother, shut up, to like, oh hey.
Maybe I should be nice to you.
A Wii, you say?
But that was like, I remember it wasn't one like a console that I, like I said at the time, where I was like, I'm getting it right now, and like anticipating it. But I remember, like, I do have a very vivid memory of like, you got it, and then I think maybe I knew you got it or something too. I might have gotten you like gift points or something, but I remember like after opening the gifts, then being like, all right, let's go to Walmart and get more shit for this. Like we got, the zapper and Link's crossbow training, and we play in the controller, and like, I don't even know, maybe we got like the fucking like tennis racket thing.
We got, I don't know if this probably, I don't remember if this was at release or not, but we got like the wheel, like the Mario Kart wheel.
Yeah, I think that came maybe
So
later.
many.
But
yeah, we got a bunch of the peripherals that came with it.
It was so sick. So I do have fond memories of, me and some of my friends, we played hours of Brawl, and and I eventually, that's how I came upon getting my own Wii. Was one of my friends eventually was like, I think he was just like looking to get rid of his, and he sold it to me. It was a couple years in, but we had played so much Brawl on it, and like everything was unlocked already. So it was like, even though I bought it, it was like, okay, I'm maintaining the legacy of our Brawl game, which now who fucking knows where that thing is. But it was, I have great memories with that console. Let's talk about some of Michael, you mentioned the photo channel already, but let's talk about some of the channels, and I have them sort of grouped off by like type. So I think just that navigation of the Wii menu was very cool and very satisfying, right? Like
Absolutely.
Being able to select things like a remote was, I love that.
The sound effects are really nice.
Like things would have unique music for like the select screen, like games would have music just for that.
Oh, for the startup screen. Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, we can talk about it with some of these channels, but the music itself on the Wii was very cool. And Michael, you just mentioned the sound effects. Like overall, like using the Wii is just a vibe, like they really,
it's a whole vibe.
That's something that, this is not a hot take, everyone talks about this, but it's definitely lost a little bit, I think, with the Switch. Yeah. Even the Wii U kind of had it, but it wasn't quite the same. Wasn't quite the same vibe. But so yeah, with your basic channels, I'm thinking you had stuff like you had the photo channel, the weather channel, news channel, and eventually even there's like an internet channel. I remember you could get on there and like look at Facebook on your Wii or whatever. But I don't know, like even these, I can see why, maybe you don't need a weather channel or a news channel on your Wii. Like I think they were kind of foreseeing you know, like where the way people get this kind of information was going in some ways, where they were like, yeah, it's like they're going to access this from like a dedicated sort of device. But obviously, like, I feel like smartphones made all of that sort of obsolete or whatever.
Yeah, they're all pretty basic channels. The photo channel, we were messing with it last night, and there were some silly effects that you could add on photos that seemed like, well, this is funky. Why is this in here?
You can make a puzzle out of your photos.
Yeah, they had like a little puzzle mini game.
That is pretty neat.
Very basic editor. Very basic photo editor.
I feel like that sort of thing would be fun if, like, the Switch, if it truly felt like more like portable, you know, like if it was like right. Even like a DS had that sort of like feature. It had like photos and stuff. But I think a lot of that is it's like, I'm not going to boot up my Wii to read the news, I don't think. But I kind of like, even just the way they had the apps like functionally was always very cool though. Like the way you had sort of the globe, and you could like that was even fun just to kind of like tinker with, not even as its actual functionality. I
think the one like system that really kind of matched the with the Wii's channels and stuff is maybe some of the like 3DS. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed a lot of that.
Yeah, 3DS was cool too.
Yeah, I feel like that's the sort of thing like I feel like I'd like to see on the Switch too. I feel like that would be
a little less sterile, more vibe.
Yeah.
And like
and you could put themes on your 3DS too.
Yeah. Themes, yeah. And just like fun ways to interact with people too would be cool, you know. So
yeah, I think the closest the Switch gets to that is just like your little profile icon.
The Wii had the little message board that you could, like in the bottom right corner, that you could send.
Oh, the board. Oh, yeah, the board.
Yeah, send messages to your friends.
And you could send voice messages if you had the little
Wii Speak.
Yeah, the Wii Speak. While we're on the subject of some of the less exciting stuff, this was something that was actually very big for me at the time, but we were talking about, you know, using the Wiimote like a remote control. Mm-hmm. And this was like when streaming really started to pick up. And for me, Netflix in particular, it was awesome. Like all the original like Star Trek that I really got into and watched was all on a Wii with the disc in, the streaming disc that you had to have. You know, it also had YouTube, Hulu, Amazon, I think even Crunchyroll is like, we watched some video where it said Crunchyroll is like the latest app, like the last Wii channel to ever be added, because I think it was like much later when it got added. But yeah, streaming. How about Michael? How about you? Were you were watching stuff on the Wii?
Yeah. Wii was actually my first experience with like Netflix and that. A funny bit that happened involving the Wii and Netflix is I remember a time when I watched where I was, you know, at our dad's watching stuff on Netflix on the Wii, and I think it was specifically like bedtime stories, you know, the Adam Sandler movie. I had watched that on the Wii, and our stepmom was like, you know, had seen that I had watched it, and she was concerned that it was going to get deleted from the system because it had been watched. And I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how it worked either. So I was like, oh no, I just ruined this movie watching experience for them.
Oh, I can just imagine this.
Like I felt bad because I thought I had stolen like a free movie watch from like somebody.
No, nobody even knew how Netflix worked, huh? Well, because it was like for some people, it was like they already had it as like a rental, So maybe they were thinking it was something like that, like a rental service. Did you watch?
We had the like subscription to Netflix where they sent DVDs out to you. We had that for a while. I think we had that pretty much until, well, not until they discontinued it, I guess, but we had it until the streaming became a bit more robust with newer stuff. It used to have a lot of older stuff on it. We were just talking about how it doesn't anymore. But,
oh yeah, what was that stat? It was like there are only
like 15 or
20 movies on Netflix right now that were made before the year 1980.
Oh.
That's fucked.
Whoa.
That's really messed up.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, we could just stream stuff on there. Though now I miss the discs being mailed to you. And you could just get anything from Netflix, and it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, I remember discs being mailed to our dad's house from time to time.
Yeah, that was great because it was just like at that time it was viewed as like it's like an extended rental. So like it was understood like, hey, this is for binge watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or Star Trek, or whatever.
Okay, so that is how I watched Buffy the Vampire. I did watch some of it, like reruns when I was a kid, on TV. But I remember like maybe the first half of the series, we were getting the discs mailed to us, and there were like 4 episodes on a disc, and we do like 2 episodes one night and 2 episodes the next night. And then, like, around halfway through, it got put on the streaming service, so we just started watching it through there.
It was a game changer, yeah. Matt, how about you? Were you streaming?
I don't think I could get Netflix. I saw the Netflix channel on, like, on my Wii when we were looking the other day, yesterday, but I don't think I ever got it to work. I think I was really excited to try it, and I don't think I ever got it going.
You did remind me, actually, with some of these apps, not so much the streaming ones, but some of these apps too, people have like archived them, and like there were videos of people like still to this day, like you could access the apps and stuff. Like obviously a lot of their functionality was gone, but it's cool like they're archived in some way. That's kind of one sad thing about this generation on, is like some of this stuff just disappears, and
Yeah.
We're gonna start turning up the heat on the channels, I think, a little bit. Michael, you mentioned before one way the console was like taken in by everyone was something like Wii Sports, or like the motion controls and stuff. But I think one thing that was pretty key, at least in our household, was you also had the Wii Shop. Cue the music there, obviously.
It's taking every fiber of my being not to
I got so much WiiWare from the Wii Shop channel.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's kind of sad because Nintendo doesn't really do this anymore, but I remember getting so many different like random WiiWare games from like Wii Shop just from like the Nintendo Points system. They gave out so many games by just spending like a small amount of points that you got from the Nintendo rewards.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about the points until Goo brought it up just a few minutes ago. I forgot that it was like, oh, you bought 2,000 points to spend on the shop, and all the titles are different points. They gamified buying games on their platform.
You had to be strategic because you'd know, like, oh, an N64 game is worth X amount of points, but you have to buy this many. So, okay, so I have 500 left, which means, I could just get an extra NES game, So there was kind of, granted, they got me to spend more than I was looking to, but I usually ended
but
up.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But that was also like, there's WiiWare, which we'll talk about, but the way I feel like that helped like extend like a branch to the older generations was the virtual console, because in our family, we had some of our family members were able to buy games they remembered from the previous generations and stuff. And
I just have a vision of our dad playing so much Galaga and our stepmom playing so much Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario. Yeah.
Those were the games. Those were the two games they each played.
It was obviously awesome, like, for me as well, because, like, I mean, you could start collecting a lot of games that you were either really fond of or some that you might have even missed. Like, certain games I experienced for the first time, like, via the virtual console, which is really cool.
I talked about it when I was on the podcast for the first time, that for the N64, a lot of the games I played were ones that I just rented from this like local store in my town. So when the Wii came out, a lot of the virtual console games I got were N64 games that I loved but never owned. Right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was just like filling out. Oh yeah, it's Yoshi's Story, Pokemon Snap. Whoa, cool.
I know the virtual console was where I played a lot of games for the first time, especially Super Nintendo ones, because we never had a Super Nintendo growing up. We just played at friends' houses. So that's where I first played like Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Was the virtual console. Yeah.
And like it was cool because you could like then you'd have them on your home screen, and it looked really cool, like having the classic artwork for these games, and you could organize it however you like. Like that was so slick. Like I do miss that. Did you, McKenna, do much virtual console?
I don't think I did. I think I did more virtual console stuff like on the 3DS.
Okay.
I remember getting some like a bunch of Zelda games on my 3DS. I don't think I did it so much on the Wii.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit on the Wii U.
For sure. Well, yeah, that was cool that they had that stuff. The services, we've talked about it in recent episodes. They have their benefits, but I do miss just the, having it on your little home screen. That was very nice. But Michael, you mentioned the WiiWare as well. This was, it was in that era. I think it took off a little bit more with 360, like a lot of like smaller games or indie games and stuff like that. But the WiiWare had a decent amount of stuff like that you could get on there, like original games that you could only get on there. And I think some might even be like kind of lost to time on there. I don't quite remember, but
I just remember getting so many because like the Nintendo Rewards program gave them out.
Do you have a WiiWare game you remember?
I don't know the name of it, but I remember this one that had to do with penguins. If anyone's listening that knows the name of this game, but you were like collecting these penguins and I think doing mini games, and you were getting like more and more penguins on this like little glacier island that you were like, I don't know if it was like a penguin farm or something, but you were just trying to raise a bunch of penguins and get more of them.
Interesting.
Did they know how to dance?
Maybe this all ties into Happy Feet. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think it all comes back to Happy Feet.
But like, I would love to know what this game was that I remember.
Matt, how about you? Do you have a WiiWare game you?
I don't think I really had too much WiiWare.
You were in the WiiWare scene.
I wasn't as much in the WiiWare scene as Michael was.
McKenna,
I missed out.
Did you do much Wii wearing?
I don't think so.
That'll probably be its own like type of thing we tackle eventually, because there is some, like, I feel like well, I mean, some stuff has now, come forward onto other modern consoles and stuff, but there was I remember there was like a Dr. Mario WiiWare game, not even just Virtual Console.
Oh, there's a Burger Time one.
I got great news. The name of the game was Snowpack Park, and you had mini games like penguins playing basketball. Or no, wait, you were playing basketball with penguins. You were throwing them like they were basketballs. There were these like listen, I don't recommend if that's appropriate penguin activity, but that's just, I'm looking at some images, and yeah, I remember all these little penguins that you got to carry around and take care of.
That sounds like a Wii game.
Diner Dash was on WiiWare?
What was it?
Diner Dash.
Oh, okay. But you didn't do it there, no?
No, I played that as like a browser game.
Yeah, I remember there being like there was some stuff that was like, it wasn't just like there was I remember that's when they did the Mega Man 9 and 10, where they had the NES graphics. I'm sure that probably released elsewhere, but that was a big deal. We might have to talk about this someday. I think, Michael, you might have had this game, Lost Winds, where you
that sounds so familiar.
You use the Wii remote to like you point and make gusts of winds, and it's like sort of a platformer. That might be one that
Yeah. Okay. I remember that game.
That was like one of the first big WiiWare games. And then the best one, in my opinion, I played this for hours, was World of Goo.
Right. I think
there's some bias
I forget that was like a WiiWare game.
Yes, because it is made its way to, and there's a sequel now too, but it was so perfect for the Wii, because you literally were just picking up the goo balls and placing them, and so like that was a game I like I said, at this time it was like 2008 when this was out, so I was like working a lot, and whatever, hanging out with friends, so I wasn't like, there was like a couple games I would like hardcore get into, but this was like one of the first times where I was like, oh yeah, I need just like a casual game, and so like
I need to get deep into the goo.
I gotta get into the goo, come home late, get into the goo.
Funnily enough, when we were going through the photo channel, one of the images was just a picture of the World of Goo logo.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I had to have had it.
It was so good, because you could literally play it just like, pointing the, it was a one-handed game essentially, so you could just be laying in bed and, half paying attention, well, I mean, there was strategy in the game. It got rather difficult actually, but you know what I mean? It was more casual, which at the time that was like sort of a new concept for me. Let's okay, we're gonna turn up the heat even more on the channels here.
Check me out.
Well, yes, actually, that's next.
Are we
literally
all
the next note?
Are we all about to vote?
Yes. Well, before, just generally, again, broadly, hitting upon like the different ways this was, a big success to the wider audience, was like basically a lot of stuff surrounding the Mii's itself. It was great. It was great from like a implementation, I think, into the console and into the games, but also just as a branding, it was really fun.
Absolutely. I love the Mii's.
The Mii's are great.
Just going in, making your family members and stuff, and then seeing them in games or in the apps or whatever was a lot of fun. I never got deep into like actually making specific Mii's. Did anyone?
I loved making.
I did.
This both of you are the type of guy who would do that. To be fair.
I love Mii's.
I put so many contributions into Check Me Out. I was trying to climb the ranks,
I was too. I didn't do very well, but I was definitely trying to climb those ranks. I wanted my Cerberus Snape to be picked. Never was.
So you weren't like into the custom like.
No,
okay.
I did like looking up the
Yes.
custom ones and like adding them.
Yes, so let's talk about then the Check Me Out channel, because that was like the way to do it. This is one of those things where I'm thinking like this type of thing they should bring back. Like
I would love this.
I
would love this.
Yeah, I think in general, like me channel should be brought back. I don't know if you've played the recent Miitopia on the Switch or not, but
No.
they have a Mii editor in that because it's based off the Tamagotchi, Miitopia games on the 3DS where the Miis were implemented. The Mii editor in that is insanely good, and the things that people could make were wild. And if you could see that implemented in like a console in a new Mii channel, I think the whole space of the Mii's, the whole space changes.
Matt, you look like you're about to explode.
I was. I love Mii's so much, and I love Miitopia so much, and I spent a lot of time making Mii's in that too. I think the cool thing that the Wii did, and the Wii U, tried to do this. It would have done it if there was more people on the Wii U, but Nintendo kind of fell away from having this like a community. Between the Mii's and the Check Me Out stuff and everybody votes, they like had a very small sense of community on this Wii, despite the fact that it was like you're still very separated from everyone, but it still feels like you're connected to people. And then with the Wii U, they had the Miiverse and all that, which was more and more. And I think they dropped that when they got to Switch, just because, well, now there's so many social media, people are connected all the time. But maybe now that those are things are happening in social media, maybe now is the perfect time for them to make a new Nintendo community. I would love it so much. To be like Mii's and just share them around.
If you want to see the Mii making system used at its like absolute limit, I would check out the Switch version of Miitopia and just see
kind of would love that game.
What people have made. Yeah.
Maybe I should.
Because it's one of those games where you make these Mii's and then you put it into the game and they like appear and they play like roles in like a little adventure.
Dang, I feel like we didn't miss the boat on this, did we?
You can still find codes. You can. Anytime's a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime's a good time.
I'm feeling like I've been talking about how I wanted to come back, but I'm not. I need to be supporting the Mii brand,
Yeah, you could do it by starting with Miitopia and then asking Nintendo to make a new Tomodachi Life, because please, I want a new Tomodachi. I need a new Tomodachi Life.
Well, I think it's a little sad that the Mii's are on the Switch, but they're so like
it's hidden.
They're so small. I love that the Mii's are kind of the identity of the Wii. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, McKenna, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about how they like basically used an advanced version of the Mii Maker to create all the NPCs in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Just like thinking how that could system could be put on, the next console. People could go crazy with their Mii designs.
Yeah, I remember they had that app for a minute where you had like your little Mii. What was it called? Miitomo, and you like answer little questions. Yeah. Like even just something small like that. Like maybe, they got this service. Like it could be like a, like a part of the NSO where it's like, yeah, and you can go online and do our little Mii game, and maybe there could be like, they could tie it to an app too, like some type of social media app or something.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about how in the past couple months, Nintendo has been doing some like really like unique stuff, like experimental stuff. They did that play test thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was like an online multiplayer thing, and they released like the Alarmo and the music app. Like maybe they're trying to get back into that more personality focused console. Maybe this is like a hint at the direction they're going.
I'm very excited because the next console is reported to be backwards compatible, which I think is something that was missing from the Switch.
One of the ways I was able to convince my parents to let me get a Wii was because it was backwards compatible with the GameCube, and I was like, if I sell the GameCube, I can afford it'll be more affordable to buy this Wii.
Mm-hmm. That was totally a thing at the time, like, which I makes me sad now because it's like all the consoles I wish I still had.
Oh, then I had to buy a new GameCube later.
Yeah, right, exactly. But so we I can't. Not catch
We're just
myself.
gonna say it like 1,000 times.
The Check Me Out channel, we hinted at it a little bit, but it was like you go on and you could upload custom Miis, and you could like they'd have contests where it's like try to make the closest version of this. You mentioned Severus Snape, like, and people would vote on who has the best one, and you could, like you mentioned, you could download them and have them on
of course
yours.
Of course they had like a Mario one, and I remember the like result screens of like your Mii where it shows the Mii's running up a cliff to see like how the votes got, and like when yours or the one you voted for got to its point on the peak, they just be like, oh, okay, I'm done. I don't know. It's just a nice little flavor thing that they added, like a nice little flair.
Yeah, I got a pretty good Ice Cube. I remember was a mainstay. And that was like, it was wild then when you'd be playing. You'd be playing Wii Sports or whatever, and then, freaking whoever, Ice Cube or Shrek or somebody shows up, and you're like, oh my god. Because they would just populate them with whatever Miis you had on your console. Which, that was another thing too, like, how you could put them onto your Wiimote and, like, transfer them to friends' consoles. Like, it felt like you were bringing them with you, if you'd go somewhere. Like, I actually did that, and we would cross-pollinate with everyone we'd know. You come over, you're gonna play Wii Sports, like, you gotta bring your Mii, and it would be great because then later you'd be playing and like they'd be on like the teams. And in fact, we experienced this recently in a way, just because we were sent a Wii and from one of our friends, and his Mii was on there, as well as like other, I don't even know who they are, other people he knows or something. And they just live there on our Wii now, and it's sweet. It's like I kind of, I don't know, it's just like, oh, there's
like a shared boyfriend Mii on.
Yeah, I don't know the context of that, but it's on there.
Oh boy.
My favorite, well, I don't know, we've actually talked the Check Me Out channel, but I think the Everybody Votes channel was awesome. Again, something that it's so simple, but I wish we had it.
I remember, Goo, me and your friends and you all like crowding around the Wii, discussing like the votes on like, okay, what are we all voting for, and what were the results of the previous one.
We were that meme of like the kids sitting there, and it's like, is Fortnite overrated or whatever, that. But before then, obviously. But yeah, it was like, so basically it was a channel where you'd go in and you could have like 6 Mii's or something registered, so like a decent amount of people
Yeah, everybody can do it.
Everybody could vote, and yeah, it almost reminds me of like the Splatfest, how they'd give.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I was just thinking. That's kind of like the current version of the closest thing.
Yeah, which is cool, but I like the idea of it just being like a universal thing everybody can kind of do.
They need to bring like Splatoon vibes to the console.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
They just are like crazy vibes.
Those are like
Splatoon
cool. Yeah.
has kind of carried the torch that like the Wii and the Wii U were doing with community, because when the Miiverse died, Splatoon still had their like internal community and posts, so they still had like art posts, they still have like voting. The community on the Splatoon is still really, really big and strong, so Nintendo knows how to foster this kind of thing, and the Wii was just the start of that.
You know, the Everybody Votes channel also had a lot of family contention. I remember a time when we had one of the things was like a baseball or soccer, and I was doing the voting, and it was before you. It was at a time you weren't around. I remember voting for you, dude.
Oh, okay.
I voted soccer, and I remember later when you and your friends got on and saw I voted soccer, you were like, "No, man, baseball." And then you ended up taking me and voting and putting my vote.
Oh, I remember
on
this.
like something. Yeah.
I don't remember caring about that answer, but I do remember caring that you voted for me.
Yeah.
And I do remember just wanting to lash out at you and put you in your place. Like, oh yeah, I'd pick up your me by the head, you know.
And I remember, you know, I being like, no, that's not what I would vote.
Maybe that's why they won't bring it back. It's because
good times.
It'll tear the family apart at Thanksgiving.
I mean, yeah, I definitely, you know, you wouldn't want. Sometimes you're like, I would want my vote to be private, you know. I don't want them to see what I'm voting for in this case, you know. If it's like pizza versus hot dogs or something, you know.
We were watching a video on
It had like all the
channels.
channels. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they were talking about some of like the region exclusive ones, and there was like a Kirby one where you could watch the animated show.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, they just need to give us like a Nintendo
Like a streaming
TV.
service.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And it also
Nintendoflix.
mentioned that like the weather app. I didn't know this, but I don't know if I ever had any games where this like would have affected it, but if it was like raining in real life, it would be raining in Madden.
Yeah, they would like. It was like almost like an Animal Crossing type thing. Where it's like the real life affects the game.
I don't think it did it do that in City Poker?
I don't think so, but just, you know, it'd be like time of day.
Yeah.
It was that sort of concept,
okay.
I feel like.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Now, don't tell Nintendo this, but there was a period of time where I had a special channel that you weren't supposed to have. There's this channel called the Homebrew channel, which was big in the modding scene, and you know, little Michael wasn't always a good kid.
That's an illegal channel.
And you know, I might have had some fun with that at times.
You're gonna make Sonic green in Smash Brothers? That's illegal.
Make people stand on cliffs in Animal Crossing? What?
Whoa.
Those guys from the commercial show up. We would like to take you to jail.
Yeah.
Or we will see you in court.
We will see you in court.
Yeah, we have a friend. Well, former guest on the show. One of the Andrews who've been on the show, who plays a lot of Melee, like competitive Melee and stuff. And we were at the marathon last year, we were trying to have Ocarina of Time playing on every console it was ever released on, and we were having issues, like Wii issues, and at one point he just goes like, I've got 2 Wiis in my car. Yeah, there was cool region stuff, like we talked about, like in Japan you could like order food.
You could get a random food delivered. You could just select a random,
bring that back, I think.
Food delivery randomizer.
That'd be a cool new category, I think.
Wait, they did say you can get it. Well, not like really, but you could sneakily get it in the US, but you could only get like Domino's from it.
Oh yeah, that'd be fine if Domino's just had an app and that was all you could do. I'd be fine with that. There's other ones. There was like Wii Room or Wii Home or something where your Mii's like chill and like watch ads or something. But I might be underselling it. But, if there's other ones that come up over time, like we can always revisit this concept, much like we'll revisit the series of games we're going to be talking about. But those were definitely some of my more familiar and fond memories of the Wii channel. So we were talking about the Miis. Why don't let's transition. Let's talk about some of the games you could play with your Miis.
Are we heating up?
We're
heating up.
up the temperature.
Whoa, it's getting hot.
That's not what you're supposed to do on Wiinter.
We need it warm inside because it's cold outside.
We're adding a log to the fire. Yeah,
it's so cold out in winter that we gotta heat it up.
So I want to do things a little bit out of order here, just so we can talk about save the best for last a little bit. So we'll talk about Wii Sports, which was the sensation, but Michael, I talked about how it was like, all right, we got the Wii, like, let's go buy some shit for it. And I think one of the best things you could buy at the time was Wii Play, because it came with another Wii remote, which was crucial at that time. It was like a no-brainer because it cost about as much as the remote, I think, and it had this whole collection of mini games in it that were meant to show you like the different functionalities of the Wii remote, which include, briefly, I want to mention this because we didn't talk about it. It had the little speaker in the Wii remote, which was it's I'm mostly known now for the Smash Brawl memes, but honestly,
that crunchy audio.
Free for all. Austin Powers.
It's very satisfying, especially in Wii Sports when like you. Whatever. So satisfying. But Wii Play itself, it's it's meant to show off, all the different things the Wii remote can do. And there's a bunch of little games on here. Certain ones of maybe dubious quality, I don't know, but I thought, why not, Matt, if you want to go first, is there one on this that was your personal favorite that you would want to shout out?
On Wii Play?
Yeah.
I feel like it would be cheating to just say that the best one is Tanks.
Yeah, everyone loves the Tanks. Yeah,
is the best one.
Do you want to talk about the one that you're insanely good at?
I didn't feel like my skill was incredible. I felt like your skill just wasn't up to par.
I disagree. When we went against each other, that I could not keep up. There's this bubble game on there.
There's a bubble
game.
God.
I believe it's called Pose Me.
Yeah,
you gotta turn your Wiimote. You have to turn your Wiimote so that your little figure, your Mii, is tilted in the right way, and you gotta change the pose so that it changes up. And you gotta you gotta get all the bubbles. There's like a figure in each of the bubbles, and you got to pose the guy to fit the figure.
Let me tell you, I was trying to keep up with Matt in that game, and like a bubble would appear and then be gone in like 0.5 seconds.
I don't know what to
skill
say.
issue. Yeah,
not my favorite game. Not my favorite game.
I don't think this is a very good game. No, but it did teach you that you could turn the remote, which I think.
Yeah, I thought it was a terrible game as well.
I didn't understand that until I played the game.
Look, I'm not saying it was my favorite, but it's not. I'm not gonna trash the game.
What do you think, McKenna?
Of
Pose Me.
Yeah. It works as a tutorial.
Yeah.
I think that can be said about most of these. Is like, this game is a fun tutorial.
What I find funny about Battle Tanks is it's both competitive, but you have to work together as well. Because if you both go down, then the game ends. But if you don't, if you're competing for points at the same time, and you can shoot each other. So it's really that decision of like, can I beat this level without them?
Well, I think it's interesting because they made one game that can be either one. You can either play a cooperative or as like a battle game.
This one it comes closest to being like a real like game. I mean, you could actually play this one. I think there's some like replay value to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We did a little tanks, but you know we didn't spend a ton of time in it. But that's one I remember going into a lot back in the day. Do you have a favorite one, McKenna?
I don't know. I think table tennis is decent.
Yeah.
And billiards is probably the other one.
Yeah, table tennis. It's pretty. You know, it's table tennis and actually the laser hockey are kind of similar, just a different orientation.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it harkens back to the origin of video games, but like, what's one of the easiest what's like one of the most direct types of things we can do is like, okay, like a tennis hockey type game.
They're both like basically Pong.
Yeah.
Like table tennis feels like, you know, ping pong, and I think the laser hockey feels like the game Pong.
Mm-hmm.
The, you know, video game. Except for sort of multiplayer.
It's kind of unwieldy, but I sort of like the laser hockey, and like I like how you can like turn your puck or your paddle.
I scored on myself a few times.
Yeah, it's got
cool vibes. The lasers.
Yeah.
The neon.
It's like retro feeling, which is funny considering the time.
When Matt and I played the laser hockey one, the best strategy was to just not move.
Yeah.
It was to just stand at the goal, because every time we moved, we would score on ourselves.
There's a lot of tension here talking about Wii Play, because we played it last night and it was very competitive.
And
it was
and it rubs it in. It has your Mii's standing there, and as you win, your score goes up, and your Mii's like react accordingly, and it does.
Yeah,
it gets a little competitive.
The table tennis game,
mm-hmm.
I had a lot of trouble with that one. In trying to control it. There were a lot of times where I tried to, because depending on how you move your paddle is the direction it hits. There are a lot of times where I would like slightly move my hand and the paddle would like fly off the screen.
Yeah. I can't speak. I'm not like super up on like the tech and how all this works, but eventually maybe next year we'll do an episode where we talk about the Motion Plus, but like this feels like one where like sometimes, I mean, in a lot of ways the console works like incredibly and like the motion controls are cool, but like this feels like one maybe where it's like it didn't have that, like it had that depth to it where you had to like move around.
It's revolutionary.
It was
I
revolutionary.
had a hard time depth-wise. I had a really hard time doing the fishing minigame. 'Cause I felt
that
like
was
We
horrible.
could not, dude.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know if
We
motion
couldn't
blurs
get
would
the,
help
like,
with that, but
Tutorial and instruction to go away.
I was furious playing the fishing one
that's
because
the worst
when
one. by
I
far.
caught the first fish and I was like, yeah, I caught the first one, and it was like small guy or whatever.
fry,
small
minus
whale,
50
and it-
points.
Minus 50 points. It's like, what do you mean?
There's
What?
bad fish.
Yeah, I caught.
What?
We did it.
How is there a bad fish?
I caught like so many more fish than McKenna, but I got negative score because they all sucked. And I was like, I don't know how to tell. Like, that was horrible.
I really like Find Me.
Find
which,
me, yeah.
Which is not the same game for the 3DS. That's a different Find Me. That's a more robust Find Me. Find Me for Wii Play is there is a bunch of guys around and you gotta click on the right ones.
Yes.
And sometimes they're walking down the street. Sometimes they're swimming in a pool. Sometimes they're in the dark. Ooh, wow.
Sometimes they're looping around on escalators
Yep,
somehow.
sometimes they're going up and down the escalators.
Yeah, that's one I feel like if we had this supposed Wii app that I'm imagining, like this would just be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Find Me. We had a fun time with this. McKenna, you mentioned the billiards.
Mm-hmm.
That one's actually fairly decent. It's probably not as robust of a billiards game maybe as you like, but I think this could be one. I'd say it like as a good supplemental to Wii Sports. Like, hey, maybe we could play some billiards for a little bit.
It'd
nice
be
simple
cool
game.
if it
Change
had
the
like
pace.
multiple sets of rules.
Yeah, like
'Cause
the
I didn't
different
even
styles.
know. We started playing, and I'm just assuming like standard. I don't know if it's standard pool, but
Yeah,
I was
Mind
like, what is? I don't understand what's happening here. I don't know these rules. And I
Yes.
was like, is this real? Is this a real rule set? And I looked it up. Yeah.
some of these feel like they feel like okay, it's in here because they're meant to show off this one thing, but it's like, oh, this could have like maybe been its own game with some more like features or something. And the last one I want to talk about is that, but first I want to mention the Charge one. That one's like again, that one's is like a mini. It's like a single mini game basically. Like there's
Which one's the Charge one?
where you're riding the cow.
Oh, okay.
thing.
It's the cow one. Oh, you should have said cow one.
Right? I'm like, what is charge?
It's called Charge.
It's the cow
Apparently,
game.
that's what I like.
Charging forward.
I really like the cow game.
Because you won.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's fun, but if it reads to me more like, and I guess most of these you could probably say it, but it's more like one-off Mario Party mini game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right. I don't think they're bad if they were like if any of those were a mini game in Mario Party, I wouldn't be like, oh, what a bad mini game. I'd be like, oh, what a cool mini game. But it's not, it's not like it's
Maybe the
well, I'm
fishing.
gonna spend hours on this.
Yeah, the fishing.
Except
I
for
would just-
fishing, except maybe for the
But I guess again, considering it's a pack-in with a controller, I can sort of forgive this. But a lot of these I wouldn't return to. But the one that I feel like is ultimately kind of disappointing to me in a way is the shooting one. Not because it's not fun. I'd say it's a fairly fun mini game, but a lot of what these games remind me of. We mentioned tennis before, but it reminds me of we did our episode talking about the NES launch games and how it had kind of a wide variety of types of games that a lot of people could enjoy pretty easily. And like tennis was on there, but they had, of course, the Zapper. And the shooting game calls back to multiple modes and games from the NES Zapper games. You've got there's a little reference to Duck Hunt with the ducks and the clay pigeons. You've got the can, which was that Hogan's Alley that had the can? I don't actually remember at this point.
I think so.
Might have been Hogan's Alley, which that was like the B game in that. But it's just this one game that cycles through all these different modes, and it's fun for one time, but I feel like this is something. This I feel like could have been an opportunity to just have, and maybe it could have been Link's crossbow training is a great back end, but maybe it could have been a zapper thing where it's like, it could have just been like a Wii shooting game that had a mode that's just a duck hunt. They didn't even have to change much, just like just redo duck hunt with the different modes, the clay pigeons shooting, add a couple modes, have the Hogan's Alley can in there, maybe have the wild gunman thing, but instead it's just sort of this one mini game, and I don't know why. I guess that disappoints me because I feel like that would have been a neat little collection of little mini games instead of one kind of extended game that sort of I think it outstays its welcome a little bit.
I thought it was kind of interesting. You were disappointed by it. I was thinking like, it's kind of cool that they every now and again they reference like, some of their past stuff. I liked that. I thought it was cool. It's like, it's the Duck Hunt game. And then, Battle Tanks, when was it Clubhouse 51? Is that the name of that game?
Yeah,
they kind of brought back the Battle Tanks for that. And I always liked Clubhouse because it seemed like, it's almost like they're trying to do We Play, but like a little better.
Yeah.
Better, worth more of your time.
Just something small about the shooting mini game is like the final segment of that game is another like tank situation where like, I guess it's
there's UFOs.
There's UFOs and you're trying to shoot them and save the characters, and it's like, I could save my opponent's character to get some points, or I could let them get taken away so I get points, so they don't get points.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but the bubble game works like the same. The pose game works like the same way. Yeah. If if one player's bubble got to the bottom of the screen, then like the game was they will like, I don't know if it was lost or the game was over, but it wasn't good for you.
Yeah, there was just a couple of games that were like, either
competitive or
sabotage opponent or work together.
You should have had a morality meter.
Morality. Like you have your points and your morality.
It'd be like Fable, you slowly grow your meat, slowly grow horns.
Just I want to keep working this negative angle on the shooting really quick, just because. Well, the tanks that you mentioned, Matt, that's why I think that one's great. It's because like you can kind of it's almost infinitely playable. It's like, let's see how far I can get. I mean, I presume there's an ending, but it reminds me of Duck Hunt, the original. You can attest to this. We were playing it last year, or this year. It's not a complicated game. There's not much variety to it, but there is sort of like you can get in sort of a zen state with it, where especially when you're doing well, where it just keeps going on and on. It's like arcade. It's like, how far can I get? I would almost prefer like the thing you mentioned with the UFOs, like that should just be its own, make that its own game, where it's like, how long can you keep yours and your opponent's Mii's alive? But again, I know that wasn't their intention going into this thing, but
you should do a Majora's Mask version of that.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you gotta keep
that could have been a level
safe.
in Link's crossbow training.
Yeah.
What the hell? Well, we'll talk. We'll dive more into the Zapper in the next season of Wiinter. But I definitely am excited to talk about that. That was a crucial part of this era of the Wii. But let's move on to our main event. Beautiful. Wii Sports. So this was this was packed in with every Wii, which I think makes it like one of the highest selling video games of all time because of that. But it, you know, you could say it was packed in, but genuinely, like, everyone I know was playing it and was into it. It was simple but effective. Like, the motion controls worked pretty well. You know, some games maybe more finicky than others, but yeah, I mean, I remember spending hours just playing bowling, you know, with the family or whatever.
This is the game where the term Wii-itis was invented.
Wii-itis, yeah.
My arms after playing like Wii Sports for the first time were like
we had
they're
that.
just so sore.
We had that, and we played like just a little bit, and it was like, ow.
I remember specifically after the day after playing baseball, because I was really pitching them like pretty hard, getting fastballs.
We played last night. My right arm right now is already feeling like it's been put to work.
Hard for me to really know if by the time we got to baseball, if my arm was sore because of the baseball or because I was doing too well in tennis right before baseball. So Michael had like punched me in the arm.
Really? What the hell?
To help his chances.
Listen, I gotta take any edge I could. I gotta take any edge I could get, and if assaulting my opponent is what I need to do.
He did win baseball.
Wow,
he did do it.
Tanya
type situation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did win in baseball.
Okay, well, do we want to? I guess baseball. I mean, well, again, it just reminds me of all those classic video games, and some of those NES ones, where it's like, I think that speaks to how effective this is. Like, everyone knows baseball, and everyone has come up like batting and stuff like that. So like, I think this wasn't a favorite on this console, I think, but you know, everyone can understand baseball, I think.
Yeah, or like some form.
Yeah, you don't have to think about the actual rules of baseball, you know, like it kind of.
It's a pretty basic
swing your arm,
pitch, hit.
Oh, I love that the teams were just automatically drafted out of whatever Mii's were in your game.
Yeah.
And that was so funny to just see, who do I have on my team this time, you know, and just waiting to see the characters that pop up.
Yeah, that's led us to some great moments, like we mentioned, with like these unknown Mii's on our console.
Yeah, we kind of gave them a little like personality too, because you know, maybe there'd be a specific Mii that we play as where you come up to bat and it'd be like, I missed all of these. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
Or like someone else would come up to bat and they'd hit a home run, and like the next time you're like, all right, you're gonna do it again.
You're my guy. You're my guy.
It's a concept I really love to see, and like again, you know, in like Tomodachi life, that happens a lot where Mii's show up randomly, and Miitopia, you know, you can shoot. Yeah, Miitopia, you can choose like what Mii's go in, but there are ways to like auto like fill roles. So it's cool, you know, seeing them try to keep that alive in those games.
All the games had like an additional like training type mode, which is a lot of fun. Like, I remember spending a lot of time with my friend who showed me the console, just trying to get the gold medals on all of them. And it was like the baseball one was pretty good, since we're talking about baseball. It had like a home run challenge type thing. I'm trying to remember all of them. I think one was just to get hits, and one is like to hit the ball a specific way. So I think it genuinely, actually, with most of these, like a lot of them had a pretty good utility in actually like making you better at the game.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were also fun. Like they're kind of a highlight to me, like a reason to kind of go back for and like be like, okay, can I get the medals on this? Do we have McKenna? What's your favorite to play?
There are two that come to mind, and it like kind of depends on the vibe, how active I'm feeling. If I'm ready to be like moving around, it's tennis.
All right, let's talk about tennis then. I think tennis is pretty fun. It's like, it's not my favorite like tennis video game of all time, because it's a little bit similar to the baseball. Like, you're a little bit kind of on rails a little bit, so you can get good at it, but sometimes you're sort of at the whims of the game. But it was still very fun, and it's, again, a very simple concept for people to like pick up. But yeah, I feel like it was one that we maybe played a little bit less, because it's like, you can with all of these, you can figure out ways to just like barely move your arm to play them, like wrist movement. But I think like tennis was one that always felt a little more like you said, you getting a little more active compared to like bowling or something you could probably do. Well, I know for a fact, like, my dad bowled the 300 sitting in a sofa or whatever, so or in a recliner, I should say. So, but yeah, the tennis is fun.
I like it when I swing my hand wildly in tennis, and it makes the swooshing sound effects.
Yeah, the sound effects are great. Yeah. The overall, we talked about like the presentation and stuff and like the music on the Wii, but this game in particular is really good. Like, where, people make like memes out of like recreating the specific ways the characters in these move, like they're like they don't have limbs a lot of times, right? And like they bounce around in specific ways. So you'll see people like, if you ever seen like a bunch of people all jump at once, like kind of how they do in the bowling or whatever. And I think that is like speaks to like it kind of having like a unique, memorable style that it's like very memeable. Yeah. Matt, did you have any feelings on the tennis?
I was good at it. I beat him.
Okay, that's where you had to get punched.
I'm gonna call him out here real quick. When we booted up Wii Sports, he was like, "Let's play tennis first and get the boring one out of the way."
No,
he's got some opinions on tennis.
Well, no, I think it is just because it's on because it is on rails. It feels like the one with the least control over what's happening. So yeah, that was my only concern. Look, the least of all A's is still an A. It's good. Don't worry about it. It's perfect.
Sometimes it feels like I'm obviously going to be on this side of the ball, so I'm going to swing this way, but your me goes to the other side of the ball, and you're like, what do I do? Like, I don't know if it really matters, but it always like threw me off, But I feel like if you just waggle the remote, you'll probably hit it right, as long as you do it at the right time, which the training helped you with a lot. Actually, the training for this one was fairly fun. Like there's one with like where they put targets on a wall, and if you miss the target, you break part of the wall. So eventually if you miss, your ball will like go through the wall. That was a fairly fun mini game. And then like the one that's just like ball return and like hitting like the shifting target. That one's a pretty fun training mode.
Yeah.
How about okay, Matt, do you have a least favorite, or have we talked about it?
Well, I went into it thinking that tennis would be it, but no, let's talk about boxing.
Yeah, okay, that's actually my least favorite too, which it was kind of a highlight at the time. I remember it was really exciting. And this is the first time we're talking about the nunchuck accessory, which is pretty vital for a lot of games. But yeah, in boxing, I don't know. It was exciting back in the day, but replaying it didn't quite do it for me. But what did you think about it, Matt?
Here's what I can say positively about boxing, is that out of all the games, it was the one that made me feel the most physical. It was the one that was the most workout, right? If you're doing Wii Sports for the sake of getting up and, having movement, that one was the one that was the most physical. That being said, I have no idea how they want you to actually control and punch things.
Yeah, I there clearly there was like very specific emotions they wanted you to do, and I just did not get it. I got pretty good at dodging at one point, the dodge motion. But I couldn't return it with punches, unfortunately.
We did not do too many of the mini games while we were playing this last night, but most of the games when we started it up, they have like a little tutorial on how it works. I did not see anything for boxing. They threw us in and said punch each other, and I was like, well, I guess it must be easy then.
I think that's all you need.
Yeah, this is my least favorite too. I think this is probably the one where the motion, you can tell it's like not
we need
perfect. It's the most involved with the motions, kind of moving side to side and throwing punches at specific points, like higher or lower. So it kind of sometimes feels like I'm fighting with the controller.
Yeah.
And not with the opponent.
For sure, yeah.
Let me say this. We got finished with playing Wii Sports, and then I closed it and then opened up Punch-Out for the Wii, a much better boxing.
It's so good. I was going to mention that. We'll definitely cover that some Wiinter, because that game whips hard. But this doesn't quite do it. But speaking of the dodging, there's some training in there. There's one where you like are doing the punching bag, and it's actually kind of fun. I feel like because it's focused on one task, mini game style, it's pretty fun.
Right.
But there's one that is learning dodging, and it's like you have a partner, like a sparring partner, and they're throwing tennis balls at you, and it's just like a really fun,
right?
I love the scene of like you and someone at the gym just like throwing tennis balls at you. Do people do this to train? They might. Is that ever in like a Rocky montage? Because that's everything they do in Rocky montages.
They should put dodgeball in this.
Dodgeball. There's got to be a dodgeball.
Yeah, we
like,
gotta find this.
We're not gonna do it this year, but that just reminds me, we have to like somehow do like a dedicated like shovelware like episode where we play a bunch of like garbage. I imagine there's some garbage dodgeball game out there, maybe tied in with the movie.
For sure.
Okay. Golf. Matt, you said maybe golf is your least favorite, but actually
golf is pretty cool. The only problem I had with golf was putting. I felt like the controls on putting weren't as tight as the controls were for just like hitting it down the fairway.
I had a lot of issues during golf where I couldn't tell where like the sensitivity of the hit wanted me to be at. With that being said, I got a pretty good putt in Wii Sports in the rough. So, I'm kind of glowing about that.
As long as you did well, you're okay.
Yeah, I can forgive it.
I'm not sure if the people who made Wii Sports Golf have, played golf before, but you actually hit those balls pretty hard. Typically, when you're golfing, you can use a lot more power than they think you have. You don't have to hit it so gentle. It's okay. More power is okay.
I had issues where like it wasn't powerful enough of a hit, and then I'd go a little harder and like it would freak out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what did I do?
This is one, that maybe Motion Plus. I actually think Motion Plus would probably help with this one, right?
Well, both of our Wii remotes were Motion Plus, and I don't know if it's just they got better with it over time. Maybe Wii Sports Resort Golf there's golf better situated.
I think so, because I think like I don't think you can like reverse engineer it into the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, Wii Sports Resort will be its own. We'll cover that too. That like, I mean, I don't know. We're doing 4 of these a year, but hopefully we'll play all of these things. Yeah, Wiinter.
Probably just more double feature
Yeah, we're not a Wii podcast, so we can't go overboard.
I mean,
but
this is gonna go on for several winters.
this
the
podcast
Nintendo
will
64
never
thing,
end. Mark
so
my words. Yeah.
yeah, I guess once we're done Nintendo 64 games, we can just be like, all right,
Fuck the GameCube. You suck. Eat shit, Luigi's Mansion. Okay. Anyway.
Whoa!
I'm just kidding. I'm not saying that really. Okay.
We're here to talk about Wii Sports, all right?
I will say
Let's stay on topic.
Well, it's slightly off topic, but Wii Sports Resort had the disc golf, which was much. I think it was a lot more fun. But the training in golf actually had it had putting, of course, putt challenge, but it had like driving, like in hitting targets, and like that's a thing people just like to do now. You know,
People,
Yeah,
they have those
it's
like
good.
golf places that are, you just like stand at like a spot and just hit the ball.
It's a driving.
Yeah.
is
yeah.
golf on Switch Sports? It should be, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've only
We need all these
I've only
sports to
done
come
bowling
back.
because we don't have.
We
Do you
gotta get-
have Switch Sports?
No, we got to get that though. But let's talk about the bowling. The bowling's pretty goated, I'd say.
It is
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It I feel like it's the one that like most closest like captures what you're actually trying to emulate. I feel like I could be
Now
wrong.
there's 3 levels to the way you can play bowling on the Wii, and I don't know what you guys prefer.
I like
There is
different
sitting in a
approaches.
chair,
Mhm.
doing just kind of lowest motion you can. There's standing in place and moving your arm, and then there's doing what I do, which I got made fun of last night for using a full space and walking up and bowling like I'm bowling.
I feel like there's nothing
But I
wrong with that.
won. So clearly it's the better strat. And I don't know what you guys, if you're standers or sitters or more.
If you got the
appropriate
space, you
space.
You gotta consider hitting your TV, which is probably another reason they don't want you to golf that hard, and why they have the wrist strap.
Keep it, yeah.
Is because, of course, there's all the all the memes of the
Gentle.
broken TVs and stuff like that. But to that, Matt, I'd say it depends on how I'm feeling. Like pretty often when I'm playing Wii Sports, I want to get in the spirit of things a little bit, and I want to like act like I'm doing the actual thing, even though I could probably bowl more effectively just with my wrists.
I remember getting really good at the bowling game. Like learning the exact spot I need to throw from and how far I need to twist my arm. I had it to a science.
Yeah,
it's all gone now.
Last time our dad visited me, he was like, "Oh, we were talking about Wii and Switch and stuff," like I said, and he was like, "I gotta send you that picture of the time I got the perfect game," and he still has it. He still has the picture of me bowled the 300 in Wii bowling. I'm like, great, like that's proud.
You get a special bowling ball for that, right?
When they
there's
you do?
There's a special ball. It's either, I don't know if it's for 300 or if it's for getting all the mini games on it, but there's like this special bowling ball. It's like shiny and had like stars on it that you could get.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The actual training for this one is really cool too. It's got the one mode where it's like hit all the pins and they keep adding more and more pins.
I love
I spent a lot of time just playing that mode.
I love the mode where you have to like do an obstacle course with, the bowling ball.
And at first you're like, this is easy. And then eventually they get one where it's like ramps or walls on both sides. And it's like, I'm like, shit, this is,
but
you gotta really curve it.
I'll let Matt talk about this. But I learned something new about one of those training modes.
Yeah, the mini game where it just adds more and more each time. I guess Michael didn't know about this, but there's I was playing it and I was like, see the button? You see the button back there on the left and right, the red button that's back there on the rail? or so there's a rail that like expands each level as there gets to be more and more pins. And once the rail is far enough to the side on the last level, and I think maybe if you're good enough, you can do it on the level beforehand too. But there's a button that's like up behind the pins.
What?
That the face you're giving me tells me that you don't know what I'm talking about. If you throw the ball and you like balance it on the rail on the side, it hits this button in the back, and then all the pins fall down. There's like an explosion sound on camera.
I was so confused on what he was talking about, and then he showed like he got to the final like knocked all the pins down level, and he perfectly rolled it on the rail, which is impressive on its own. And it got to the end, made a click sound, and yeah, all the pins just fell down. And I was like, what am I seeing?
I've never heard. I have to do this.
Wow. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do after we're done.
I'm probably gonna figure that out later. That's crazy. Jeez. Okay.
I don't know if the other mini games have secrets like that, but you know, I always loved doing that as a kid.
Yeah, I did not expect there to be secrets in Wii Sports. You like the bowling? You said you like the bowling.
Yeah, I like that. It's like you take turns. It's like in golf, so it's a good like party game. You can do your turn, and then you can like grab a bite, take a sip of your drink or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chill, more laid back experience.
Yeah, party games is a whole other rabbit hole that we need to go down too.
Yeah.
Which almost sometimes go hand in hand with shovelware games, but not always. Not always.
Yeah, that's when you get to talk about Wii Party.
Yeah, and Wii Party, Game Party 2. I bet there's a Wii Party 2. But
there's a Wii Party U.
That's fucking.
There is a Wii Party U.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's a different console.
Yeah, but that's all teasers for future stuff. But there's, I guess, one final thing for Wii Sports I want to mention. They also had, and this is another teaser, they also had a fitness test you could do, which I don't think is a very accurate gauge of fitness. But it's, it's sort of they make you play like you do a couple rounds of bowling and like some other stuff, and they're like, here's your fitness age, and I'm like, how'd you get that from my bowling? Like,
I was sitting in a chair the whole time.
Yeah. But of course, I think they do kind of successfully expand upon the fitness stuff with Wii Fit, but that's spoilers. That's not going to happen this winter, but that might be a good winter activity. Maybe we
the board.
It's too late. We don't have it. Next winter,
Right.
That'll be our task. It'll be the end of winter.
We gotta get a Wii ski and snowboarding episode in.
I don't know.
Tony Hawk on the balance board too.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is already in your plans at some point, but you got to talk about Wii music.
Yes, yeah.
At some point.
Again, there's probably I think there might be a more, these two games we've talked about. We've got it's part of that whole Wii whatever. I want to do more on that, but obviously I want to also cover other things. So it might be like once per season we do a Wii thing. So we'll see. You gotta partially credit the success of the Wii to,
I think so,
this game. Not alone, but like it definitely, like if it didn't have something like this, I don't know if it would have caught on. But I guess it goes hand in hand with the development, right? Like they were, a lot of similar to other launch titles on previous Nintendo consoles. Like this is like the game. This is like almost a like Mario 64 of this, just in the sense of like they were designing the console around doing this game. At least
it's what got whole families involved in the consoles. So yeah,
one of the arguments for I talked about other arguments for me getting the Wii with my family, but one of the arguments I had was, well, it comes with a game. It comes with a great game that's fun. I don't have to buy a game for it for months. Yeah,
Right.
I'll just get the console and it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, this kind of probably tided them over till they got more stuff too. Because then, I mean, now it's like, I don't know if I play Wii Sports for hours anymore, but at the time, like, the novelty was unreal. And I mean, it's still fun to revisit, and like, it's still fun, like, doing when we did the bowling on Switch Sports. It's like still a good time. So I don't think there's any reason that Wii Sports shouldn't be on every Nintendo console in some form for the rest of time. This is sort of we're setting the table up, and now we're gonna dive into some other.
We're gonna feast.
We're gonna feast. We're gonna.
We are gonna feast.
We are gonna feast.
We would like to play.
Matt or Michael, anything else you wanted to get in about the Wii Play, Wii Sports, anything like that?
There's a cat. There's a cat in the photo channel that you can catch if you're sneaky enough.
What?
And if you catch the cat, it gives you like tips,
advice. It gives you tips.
So I mean, there's secrets in the photo channel. Like,
yeah, there's a cat.
The photo channel is actually cracked.
I really appreciate the Wii and its vibe. Like, what is it? A month ago, we kind of mentioned the music app that came out. And, I was expecting Wii Sports Music to kind of show up on there, and it did. And they already had, like, Wii channels, and all the music from that. So even before playing it, and booting up the Wii recently, I was kind of, like, getting into the zone with it again, just because all that music and speaks to the vibe of that console. And it all feels cohesive. It feels like it has its own identity in a very, like, nostalgic way now. But it's got a lot of character. And I really appreciate that looking back.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic to me, and it's the console where I feel like I built a lot of friendships on. And like the communities surrounding it. So the Wii has a special place in my heart for that.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I think even the music app, Matt, that you mentioned, it like had like the Everybody Votes music might have been on there, or was I?
Yeah. Was I on there?
Okay, I thought I might have been tricked by someone online. Got my hopes up, but well, that's great, and. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about some more Wii. Michael, what do you want to promote?
You could follow me on Bluesky at Golly Rogers. I don't have anything specific to promote. I guess I'll promote the Flashback 64 website, which I had worked on. I had developed that, so. Hey, check it out.
It's so good. It actually got shouted out. We guessed it on Superpod Saga, and they shouted out the website as well. So
yeah, I've been kind of figuring out ways I can make the website nicer, and
you're always texting me random ideas for it and stuff.
Yeah, cool. I send ideas and I put some things in. I guess for anyone listening, I guess I don't know if you'd be curious, but what kind of things do you think our listeners would like to see on the website?
True.
If people have good ideas, let us know, because I think there's more we could definitely add to it, and maybe we could create our own ecosystem there. Maybe
community,
maybe we'll get everybody
votes. Everyone votes page on the website.
Yeah, we should get that going.
We'll make a weeb site.
That's a different thing. All right, Michael, I need you to look into polls, and we're gonna find the old Everybody Votes questions, and
Right.
we're gonna just have that as one of the pages.
Great.
Matt, do you want to promote anything?
I'm Matty Matt on Bluesky. Go check out the Flashback 64 website.
Did we say the URL?
Whole lot of times.
Flashback 64.neocities.com or org? Or
Yeah.
Oh no. Flashback64.neocities.org. And I decided I'm not going to get a domain for it, at least for now, because it's funnier if it says .neocities.
You know, it kind of gives it that like old websitey vibe, you know?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think it looks better than your average. Well, I don't know. Well, there were some people who made some incredible stuff back in the day. I don't want to diss any old head who might be listening, but
We need like a MySpace page for the Wii Winter stuff.
oh yeah, if you could just recreate the MySpace, but where yeah.
I'll look into it.
All right, well, that was a lot of fun. Thanks to our guests. It's always great to have you on. Thanks.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
Great
thank you.
to be here.
Thanks, McKenna, and thanks me.
Thanks, Goo.
And we'll see everybody. We
enjoyed being here.
We had fun. Should we hint at what we're gonna play next? Well, you know what? We're gonna keep it a secret because I never like to reveal things too early. But we are actually going to have we're gonna have our episode from when we were on Kirby Conversations and we talked about Return to Dreamland for the Wii. We're gonna have that coming up on our feed. But if you're still listening, you should go listen to it on their feed because it's their show. But we're gonna but we're gonna share it, so hopefully people, if you're not gonna go click over, you're gonna get this thing in your app and you better listen to it, and then you better go subscribe to them. All right. Okay, thanks everybody, we'll see you later. Bye bye. Have a good Wiinter.
Bye.
Winter.
And of course, we want to give a special shout out to all our Millennium Star tier patrons. So thank you, Paul, Nico, Matt, Jeremy, Lee, Kiefer, and Darren. Everyone else, go check out our page at patreon.com/flashback64. Wait, what the hell?
What?
I had in my what was the number one movie? I had it written down somewhere.
What?
I'm gonna be mad if I
Wait.
don't. Oh no, I said it was Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Happy Feet. The perfect Wiinter movie.
You've already forgotten about Happy Feet.
Wow. Okay, sorry. So let's I'm all over the place here. This is
You just punch your microphone.
Oh no. I need to do a hard reset on myself here, I think. Okay.
Deep breath.